Let's get it.
I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, do you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Poles everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.
So shalom to everybody that is in the live. I see Kaya La coming in. Shalom sis, Yahweh Shema Allah Ta'ala Shemi Al Shai. Alright, Most High in Christ. The video's looking to Wab. Okay, I think we about good to go. Alright, so welcome to Real Time Revelations. This is where I break down, you know what I'm saying, the current topics, things that are going on today. I give you the biblical perspective. I break it all the way down. Alright, so today's topic we're gonna go into is substance abuse. So this is something that a lot of our people, especially young people, I've noticed, you know, in the communities, it's no secret, we're suffering a lot from substance abuse, whether it be weed, whether it be, you know, Molly, ecstasy, Percocets, you know what I'm saying, opioids, all these different things that we've taken, and it's become an epidemic in the Black community where, you know, so many of us are just functioning, you know, we functioning addicts in the sense that, you know, we addicted to this thing, but we function, and, you know, you might not look like your average, you know that person that you can tell this person does, you know, narcotics. You might not look like that because you're what's known as a functioning addict or a functioning substance abuser. But, you know, it still impacts you in your day-to-day life. You're still an addict. It's still a major part of your life. It's still taking over your mind. And there's many brothers and sisters that have been unalive due to this substance abuse. And, you know, I just want to make sure that people know. And it's a thing where it's pushed in the media. It's pushed in all our music and these music videos where, you know, all these rappers is talking about is, you know, walk, Percocets, you know, all these different narcotics is pushed in our faces to make it seem as if it's something that's cool, or it's something that's, you know, it's a flex. Listen, substance abuse is not a flex. It's not a flex at all. You are no different when you're taking these substances and you're an addict. You're no different from that, you know, that brother or that sister that's out there in the park bench is strung out. It's just you might function a little bit more, but the harmful effect it's having in your body, it's still very real, and you see it by these, you know, certain artists who've been unalive due to substance abuse. Like one not too long ago, a few years ago, you had Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was a very popular, you know, a very well-known artist. I'm sure all of y'all would have heard of Juice WRLD. He was unalived at the age of 21 due to substance abuse. That brother was younger than I am today, and he was unalived so young because he struggled with substance abuse. He struggled with, I believe it was, I forget the type of drugs, but he was, I think it was Molly's. He was on Molly's at a very young age. And you know, these things, it takes over your mind, and it's a demon. It's a demon that wants you to unalive yourself. I don't know if y'all know about demons. You may not know. You're not tuned in with the ISUPK, but demons are very real. They're very real, and it's spirits that exist and try and enter you or try and coerce you to unalive yourself. That's a demon's job. A demon's job is to get a brother or sister to unalive themselves. It might give you thoughts of unaliving yourself. It might give you thoughts of committing violent acts or doing all sorts of crazy things. It might, you know, what's the word? Manifest in the sense of substance abuse, where you're taking the substance to deal with some sort of traumatic experience. Our people go through so much trauma. It's no surprise why we're taking all these substances to try and numb ourselves from the pain. A lot of our people deal with, you know, people being unalive, people real close to them. Many of our people deal with being violated at very young ages. And so we take these substances in order to kind of shield ourselves from the pain, just try and forget about everything. But you know, it's not the way to combat the trauma and the things that we go through. It's almost a stigma in the Black community where, you know, we don't want to seem crazy, or we don't want to go to seek counseling or seek help from the things that we're dealing with mentally, because as a nation, Black people go through the most. Black people have not only have we been through the most as a nation, we've been through the most in our history. We went through one of the most, you know, the not one of the most, the worst slave trade has ever happened in the world. No other nation has dealt with an atrocity like ours. We have what's known as generational trauma, where the things that have happened to our people for so many years, even to our forefathers, it's almost, the trauma is almost coded into our DNA, where now the things that we do and the way we think, the way we operate is because of this generational trauma. It's because, you know, because of the condition we've been living in for so long, because of how your parents were raised, because of how their parents were raised, because of the environment they were around and the influences they were around. All right. We have what's known as generational trauma. All right. Shalom also to Princess Nakath, Yahweh Shemal Athar Shemial Shai. All right. So we're going to get into it. So let me see. I think the first video that I'm gonna share, which even sparked this topic, was one I found while I was researching my latest topic. Where if you haven't seen episode 2, make sure you tune into episode 2, which I go into dating shows and red pill podcasts are ruining your relationships. Make sure you tune into that episode. If you haven't, if you didn't catch it live, you can find it on YouTube and Facebook. I found this video while I was, researching for that topic. And it's something that struck me because many of our people think it's kind of a flex, or it's almost cool to be taking these substances and abusing themselves with these substances. Let me give you a visual representation of what it looks like when you're on these substances. How you act, how you come across. All right, I'm gonna share this video right here. Okay, so this is a brother that's they on one of these dating shows. I think it's like a 20v1 or something, where it's like he trying to it's one of them online shows. All right, we're gonna get into the meat and bones of it. All right.
Well, yeah, you fine as hell. Let me see. Ooh, he make it clap. Let me chill.
He's tweaking.
I'm tweaking. How?
You tweaking?
You fine as hell. You don't fuck with me?
Huh?
Because I told you to do a 360 on tweaking?
No, it was the lab. And then what's this right here?
Well, I got some on my mom.
Yeah, it's like white.
My bad. I probably been licking my lips. I ain't got no Carmax on. My bad.
You need some?
Yeah, you got some Carmax?
I got some lip gloss.
You fuck with me? You pay for real. Come on.
Huh?
Why you bagging up?
Why he getting close to me?
I don't know if y'all see that, but okay. Let me know what y'all think of this video. So he tells us to do a 360, which again is, that's really all these dating shows have become. It's just, our sisters dressing a certain way and showing up their body. Brothers is sexualizing the sisters are sexualizing themselves. It's just evolved into, something that's not a good representation of how our people should operate. But he tells us to do a 360. He does this laugh right here.
Ooh, he make it clap.
Good night. He says, "Can you make it clap?" And then starts tweaking out a little bit.
Let me chill.
He's tweaking.
I'm tweaking. How?
You tweaking?
You fine as hell. You don't fuck with me?
Huh?
Because I told you to do a 360 on tweaking?
No, it was the lab. And then what's this right here?
Well, I got some on my mom.
Yeah, it's like white.
My bad. I probably been licking.
So he tweaking. He kind of don't even, he don't really realize how he's acting. He's acting crazy. Like the sister's a little concerned. He's like, oh, he's tweaking. He's on something. He's taking something. This ain't normal. This ain't normal behavior. So she's clearly concerned for the brother. Talking about the way he was laughing, the way just moving a little funny. And then he's saying he has this something white in the corner of his mouth, which I don't know. Maybe foaming at the mouth because that's kind of a, you know, almost a byproduct or a side effect. Sometimes you foam at the mouth when you tweaking, when you taking something that has you, you know, out of your mind. All right, and he offers him some Carmex. He goes to get it. You know, he's thinking, oh yeah, she rocks with me. She letting me use her Carmex. She backing up. You
My lips. I ain't got no Carmex on, my bad.
You need some?
Yeah, you got some Carmex?
I got some lip
Oh, you
gloss.
fuck with me, you pay for real. Come on.
Huh?
Why you bagging up?
Why he biking?
She like, hold on. She like, hold on. Nah, because the thing is, you don't know what, you know, when somebody's tweaking or on something, they real unpredictable. She stepped back. You can see her face. She is afraid. She is scared. You know, I don't know if y'all know. There's a very it's a phrase amongst black people where, or I don't know if it's black people or just young people today, but they say you scaring the how can I say it? You scaring the 304s. You scaring them. Like when you tweaking like this, you know, it's not attractive. You ain't, you know, it's definitely not a flex. You tweaking right now. This sister is scared because when you tweaking, you real unpredictable. So, you know, she just concerned for her safety. But yeah, that's a video I came across and I was like, I have to talk about the substance abuse that you know is running rampant in our community. I'm gonna share another video. I'm gonna drop another video real quick on this was shortly after Juice WRLD was unalive. And a brother, I believe it's a brother Vic Mensa, I think is another rapper that he used to rap about drugs and this sort of thing. And I believe he was an addict. Well, he was a substance abuser, right? But then he changed his life and got sober, and now he talks about how, you know, that was one of the best decisions he's made. And we as a community, especially like rappers and the black community in general, because we are a very extreme people, where anything we're in, we in it extremely. Whether it be Christianity, we the biggest Christians. Whether it be Islam, we big into Islam. Whether it be 304 activity, we wilding out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Gang culture. You know, anything we do, we real extreme on it. And so he talks about how the music industry needs to be very, very conscious, and brothers who make this music and live this lifestyle need to be very conscious of how they're affecting the youth who look up to them and take what they say as, you know, gospel. Like, okay, I want to be like my favorite rapper. I want to do what they do, dress how they dress, take whatever they take. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play this video real quick.
Lil Pump cut drug addicts from his set list for Rolling Loud. Respect for Juice WRLD.
Word.
Was that just out of respect for the crowd or what? I mean, just to show the crowd?
I think that as members of the hip-hop community, we need to take responsibility for the things that we say. We need to recognize that the shit that we talk about influences children. And so when we steady pushing a message of lean and Percocets and Xans, we are polluting the minds of the youth. We have a responsibility to give it to them in a real way. Not to say you can't talk about your real life and the things that are happening, but I think that we need to start holding each other and ourselves accountable for our glorification of the drug culture. 100%. That's just what it is. Anything else, that's parasitic to our people, to just act like this is the shit. To be.
And what he's saying is, you know, we push this lifestyle, like in our music. Like you'll hear a lot of like Lil Yachty is another one who damn near in every song all he's talking about is walk. You know, he took the walk to Poland. You know, he every almost every in his songs he's mentioning walk and lean and Percocet, Zan. Like you hear this a lot in our music. Even like a lot of artists have, I think lean and walk. I think that's damn near the same thing. That's a real big one. This taking, you know, rap culture by storm. With damn near every rapper's on it, every rapper's rapping about it, and it's, you know, they make it seem as if it's fun. It's so much fun to, you know, be on lean and walk and this, that, and the third. They make catchy, damn near theme tunes to taking substances, theme tunes to, drinking this lean or doing this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You're saying you need to be responsible about how we portray this kind of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And when you showing it as like, oh, take this, you can be like me, you can have fun, it's a good time. It's parasitic to the minds of our youth. It's parasitic where, it's influencing them to be just like you, to be, take this and take that, take all the things that you take. But even to them, they might have a completely different experience. And they might not they might have the same tolerances as you. But even in general, either way, you taking these things now, drugs in themselves are not a bad thing if it's medicinal. Certain drugs serve a purpose, like cannabis or THC will serve a purpose. You can get it medically prescribed if you require it. Even other things like, I think, what is it? Even I think that the drug or the hops that's used, not the hops. What is it? The whatever's used to make cocaine is used medicinally as I think it's like a painkiller or something. But these things can be used medicinally, but it's when you're using them to get high, or you're using them outside of their medical practices. That's when you're now abusing the substance. Okay, I'm play on a little bit further.
Has it made you change your lyrics at all?
100% I thought about that, man. I mean, because in younger times, I was definitely not feeling no responsibility to the youth or to anybody but myself. And I'm like, I'm gonna just talk about the Zans on the plane, going to France. It's like, you gotta be careful about what you say, because kids take what you say for real. They take it as the gospel. So give them something they can use, not shit that's killing them. And when we see these things happening,
he said right there, these children take what we say as gospel. They take what we say as, okay, I should do this. I should live my life like this. I want to be this person. And he says we should give them something that's, they can do something with. Give them something positive. Give them something they can build and better themselves. Not something that's unaliving them. Not something that's causing them to, be crash outs on the block. Not causing them to be this violent person, or this very low functioning person. Somebody that causes their mother heartbreak when they be unalived due to OD, and not someone that's leaving their children without a father, or leaving their children without a mother, leaving their parents without a son or a daughter. All these things, you just think about how it even impacts you. You want to think about how you're impacting other people. Even neighbors, they have to deal with you doing the substance, and however you act when you're on this substance. Your children are seeing this, your parents are seeing this and concerned, your brothers and sisters, all these people you have influence on in your life, or all these people that you affect. All right, we should be giving them, pushing something positive. But let me tell you another thing. It's by design that we're fed all this the type of music that you hear, the type of music that's popular, that tops the charts, the type of music that's pushed is this, gang violence music, is this substance abuse music, is this 304 music. That's the music that's pushed, because who runs the media industry? Who runs the music industry? I don't know if y'all know, but it's them people that claim to be Jews. It's them people that claim to be Jews and are not. That's the people that run these industries, and they're feeding us. They're feeding us this content to keep our minds destroyed, to keep our sisters thinking that's empowering. It's empowering to be a 304 and give your body away freely. How our brothers thinking it's a flex, or it's cool. It's it's something to be almost praised. Being a substance abuser, you wouldn't look at the local the local addict as anything of note, but you look up to these rappers and you want to be like them. You want to take the substances they take. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just they function a little bit higher. But you should look at really look at them in the same way. You're a rapper talking about walk and lean and fentanyl and Xanax and Molly. You know, it's really the same thing. That's the same thing that you see. You know, that local. I don't know if I can say that word on TikTok, but that you know what I'm talking about. That local substance abuser on your block that tweets out every second. That's how you should see them. All right, we're gonna play a little bit more.
To the young brothers, like rest in peace, Juice too early, 21.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And rap is much to blame for it.
And how many times do you think you've almost killed yourself?
A lot of times. I've been very close, and I've been blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through the drug addiction in a major way, and that shit gives you perspective to be like, man, I have a responsibility to talk about mental health, to give that in a real way to the people listening to my music.
That's another one. You know what I'm saying? He's saying you know, when he was taking these substances, the interviewer asked him, how many times have you almost unalived yourselves? He said so many times. You know, he's been very close to unaliving himself many times because of that influence, of what's pushed to us, what's fed to us, what's shoved down our throats. These substances, they're forked and shoveled into our communities. It's put into our music and pumped into our music that taking substances, the dealing substances is something that's cool. You can get rich and quick. You can live this flashy lifestyle. It's destroying our communities and destroying our families. All right, so let me get let me even get this scripture real quick to break down that, you know, this is something that's by design. It's not just, you know, black people, we just can't get it together. It's not just, you know, we just no good or nothing, you know. This is something that's pushed on us. It's something that's designed for us to fall into. I mean, we even call it the trap. We call it the trap because it's most definitely a trap. It's a trap that you take it, you end up, you know, either unaliving yourself, you destroy your family, you either end up in prison for dealing it or taking it. You know, you end up you end up in all these different situations where you wouldn't have been in if you hadn't fallen for the trap. All right, so I'm going to read this scripture right here, Ephesians 6 and verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, all right, against spiritual wickedness in high places. These rulers of the darkness of this world, these are the people that own your media industries. These are the people that own, you know, they own everything that they own, all the medias, the movies we watch, the music we listen to. You know, they are really in control of the culture. You know, black people, we want to claim like we have our own culture, but really we're just doing what's fed to us. We're following what we see in the movies. We're following what we see and hear in the music. You know, black culture is whatever our oppressor wants it to be. Whatever he wants to feed us, he'll make sure this video goes to your phone, this video goes viral, and he feeds that culture to us. But that culture is not ours. You know, when you find black culture, real black culture, in the Bible. You find real black culture in the ISUPK under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. That's where you see brothers and sisters in real black culture, in the culture of the Israelites, which is who we are according to the Bible. All right. So I just read that scripture. Where do I want to go next? Let me see. We're gonna go into another recent brother who was unalived. I don't know if y'all heard the story. Rich Homie Quan is another brother who was found unalived recently, and it's not, they say it's not confirmed how he passed, but is very likely linked to substance abuse, and also you know, there's a lot of speculation and people who are in the industry, people who are close to him, talking about you know, the issues with substance abuse. All right, so I'm gonna get into one video right here This is somebody named
So I said
Chapo, who apparently knows, he know Rich Homie Quan, and he was in communication with the family. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Oh, y'all can see it. All right, no sweat. Okay, so he says right here, even on the caption, he says, "Enough is enough. As a survivor of addiction to opioids, I gotta speak out. We have a serious drug problem in the music industry. I hope this is a wake-up call." And he says, "R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan." All right, so we're gonna play this video.
So I said I'd speak about it when the family felt it was cool to release the information. This is a problem in hip hop, bro. This is a problem in hip hop. This is why I personally stay out of the mix of the events and all of that, because it's easy to live a certain lifestyle and get drawn into, and unfortunately the narcotics that's out there right now is all chopped up with that Fetty, bro. That Fetty is what's getting people, bro, and it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking because about like 85 to 90% of the music industry is on these drugs, and I hope this is a.
He says about 85 to 90% of the music industry is taking these narcotics. 85 to 90% of the music industry. And even what he was saying, that a lot of these narcotics is they laced with fentanyl, which is a big thing that's unaliving a lot of our people. That fentanyl is that's no joke. But you taking these things when you a substance abuser, when you addicted to these things, you gotta understand these things ain't they ain't really legal. So the people who are making these things, or people who are distributing these things, they criminals. So they ain't they ain't really care much about your well-being. These are criminals you're getting these substances from. And so who's really, there's no telling what's really in these substances. I don't think they care much for, there's not exactly any quality control going on for, these narcotics you getting. All right, I'm gonna play them.
Wake-up call, because what you have in the industry with artists are functioning addicts, meaning y'all can't tell they're addicts because they clean up nice, and when you got money, you know what I mean, it's easy to cover up your addiction and to fund your addiction. Addiction is a serious thing in hip-hop, gang, and we really need to start talking about it and really making it a topic of conversation, bro. Like, this is heartbreaking. I didn't even want to listen to the 911 call. I've been talking to his cousin. I'm just heartbroken for the family, bro. 34 years old is young. That's young, bro. Jesus. The whole TSG family, I know y'all hurting, bro. This is whack. I speak on this because I'm a survivor of addiction, bro. I used to be addicted to oxycodone 30s.
So this is a brother that used to have an addiction. So, he ain't just talking from the outside in. He used to deal with this himself. He talks about kind of how he got even, when you on it, when you in it, you don't see yourself as an addict. You don't see yourself as this person that's hooked. But, we're gonna let him speak. We're gonna let him, talk about his story. All right. Let me see. All right, shalom to everybody that's on the live. I see the captain here, Kayala. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share it too. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you drop a follow if you ain't following the page already. All right, we're going to get into this show. I do this show every Monday and every Thursday. All right, bring real-time revelations, bringing out these stories, giving you the biblical perspective on it. All right, we're going to continue on with this video.
I had the funds to have the drugs available. I used to walk around with a bottle of them and just pop them. You know what I mean? And didn't even realize I was an addict until literally my bottle ran out. And, so to see this, man, this really hit home. And I'm hurt behind this. I'm hurt behind anybody that loses their life to drug addiction, especially as a survivor. Being 6-7 years sober, like, it's a real thing, gang.
He's 6, he's a few years sober. He's saying it's hard dealing with these things, man. And we see, so many rappers on this and so many influencers doing these sort of things. He says, y'all don't realize that these people are addicts. They was known as functioning addicts. You don't compare them, it's like they're in a whole different world. You don't compare them to the same addict that's on the bench because they functioning addicts. But listen, it's one and the same. All right, we're gonna get into another video. So this is kind of a video breaking down the recent passing of Rich Homie Quan. All right, which again is another big artist whose life was taken due to this demon of substance abuse. All right, that's what it is. All right, that's the Bible says we battle. I just went into that verse. We battle against principalities, against powers. That demon that wants you to alive yourself, that wants you to keep, that hooks you on this substance. Its goal, its job is to unalive you, and it's very unfortunate that this demon accomplished this goal with this brother here, Rich Homie Quan. All right, so we're gonna get into. I'm play this one video first.
The hip hop world.
All right, let me get it. Make sure it's shared to y'all can see it. All right, no sir.
The hip hop world is still trying to process the shocking and sudden news of Rich Homie Quan's death at just 34 years of age.
So this brother was just 34. That's that might seem. The funny thing is because of how young our people are unalive, because of how short lives we live, because of the oppression we go through. It's like 34 to some people might even seem old. Like, oh, he made it to 34. That's almost an accomplishment. Many of our people, especially those like involved in gangs or involved in certain lifestyles, they don't expect it to make it to 20. They don't expect to make it to 25. But 34 is a very young age. It's a very young age. You see, these oppressors live to 100, 100 upwards. The queen, how old was the Queen of England when she was unalive, when she passed? How old was she? Meanwhile, our people are being unalived at, 34, at 21. You know what I'm saying? And this headline right here says, Rich Homie Quan, unalived at 34, was foaming at the mouth when girlfriend found him unresponsive. And then there's audio of a 911 call going around too. I don't know if any of y'all have heard it. I can play it for the live if y'all want to see it. Y'all just let me know.
The story is still developing.
And is the key parts from this video I found is talking about it and then what happened and what people are saying. And then I also have another video on an interview where he talks about his substance abuse and talks about how he was introduced to it. All right, so we're gonna get into this video. Let me run it back a little bit.
Death at just 34 years of age. The story is still developing and nothing has officially been confirmed yet, but you know how it goes. Rumors are already flying left, right, and center. And while fans are being urged to take a step back and wait for the real facts to come out, this hasn't stopped different theories from blowing up online. Some are saying Quan might have OD'd, while others are speculating that he was given a laced pill. Meanwhile, Quan's girlfriend, who discovered his unresponsive body at his home in Atlanta, has shared more details on Quan's shocking passing. And while the exact circumstances are still murky right now, people are definitely talking. But regardless of the cause, this tragic news has completely shaken fans and his industry peers, who are now pouring out their love and support. At the same time, many are using this moment to sound the alarm on the dangers of recreational substance use, as we've already lost too many young people to this epidemic.
Yeah, were you able to get him to the floor?
Yes, his heart not beating or anything.
And that's part of that's a short snippet of the 911 call. One of his ribs that found him. He was at either her home or at home. He was laying on the couch or in the living room. She's thinking he's just asleep, so she puts a blanket over him. Goes to bring her son to school. And then comes back and he's still, still. He ain't moved. she is checking up on him and finds he ain't breathing, his heart ain't beating. This brother's no longer with us, so she calls to try and get an ambulance. And even the 911 responder was very, you can't rely on our oppressive systems to save our lives. It's really not designed to save our lives. It's designed to save, the people that are considered people. To us, to these other nations, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we're not really a concern to them. We're not considered, a people to them. So, that's what the emergency service is for. That's who the emergency services are for. All right, so let me see.
Were you able to get him to the?
Too many young people to this epidemic.
Yeah, were you able to get him to the floor?
Yes, his heart not beating or anything.
And just listen to how heartbroken this sister is. Listen to how, she on the phone, she's, very much upset because, okay, this is her mind. Her mind is now passed. That's, once you pass, you gone. You can't get this brother back. You can't get this sister back. You're just gone. And of course, to people in the world, now to people in the truth, we understand that reincarnation is a thing, but it's still a terrible, terrible tragedy when, one of our brothers and sisters pass, especially in a situation where it didn't have to be like this. We should be being unalived due to old age. We shouldn't be being unalived so young due to whether it be substance abuse, whether it be, gang violence. Well, many of our people are being unalived so young, and we're leaving back, people are brokenhearted. Children now, don't have their father. His ribs and there's more people coming out, that were in relationship with this brother. More sisters coming out, and they heartbroken, man. They heartbroken now. Ribs. These sisters don't have their husband. The children don't have their father anymore. It is due to the substance abuse. All right, so what we're gonna get into now, real quick, is the interview. Let me see. This should show.
Was it? Oh hell yeah, man! I was on Molly every day.
Was it about? He talks about kind of how he was introduced to these substances and how he fell into it and how he became. He kind of had he had this problem. He became an addict. He had this problem with substance abuse.
Right. Was it? Oh hell yeah, man! I was on Molly every day. Oof. Listen, geeked up. Fight down. Listen, I'm talking, bro. I felt like I couldn't do a show or a song without being on Molly.
He said he felt like he couldn't do a show or even a song without being on Molly. That's how bad it gets. That demon will have your mind. Addiction is no joke. It ain't no light thing that you can just shake off and just think, hi, no sweat. That addiction gets you. I have you feeling, you need this in order to do little things. Like some people are in the mindset that they say weed isn't a drug. Meanwhile, they can't get up out of bed without, rolling a spliff first. It's just too much. It's just too much to get up out of bed without, without hitting something, without taking something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to play further on this video.
When did that start? When did the habit start? When the habit started, shit. On the road, when I first got the road, I didn't on the road. The $800 show, I ain't drink no liquor, no lean, no none of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shit, after some type, before some type of way, we was doing so many shows, I couldn't stay up. So I knew some people like, bro, I got something to keep you up.
So he's saying when he was introduced to it, it was a time where he was doing so many shows. He was real popular in his career. He was doing so many shows, so many songs that he was struggling to stay up. And then somebody close to him was like, okay, I know a way you could stay up. So many songs that he was struggling to stay up. And then somebody close to him was like, okay, I know a way you could stay up. Okay, and this person that was close to him, this is how demons work. It could either work directly from yourself, it could be somebody close to you, it could be somebody that's not close to you, just a random stranger, but its goal is to get you unalived. In this case, the demon worked through this brother's, the brother, somebody who was close to him, and playing off the fact that, he was struggling to be awake. Okay, you need this for your career. Otherwise, it's probably putting all sorts of thoughts in his head, talking about, you need to do these shows, get this money, get this bread. If you don't do this, you're gonna fall off. This, that, and the third. Like, it really gets to your mind. It gets right into your mind and keeps you hooked on these things. All right, we're gonna play forward.
But I got something to keep you up. Kept me up. And it was a machine after that.
If you don't mind, who said
that's where the babies was coming from.
If you don't mind, who said that to you? Who said they got something for you to keep you up? Was it somebody from the industry or one of your friends?
It's a family member.
Oh, family member.
It's family.
So it was a family member that introduced him to Molly. It was a family member that introduced him to Molly, and then he got hooked on it. That Molly is no joke. Like, there's many people that talked about, even Joe Budden talked about his his I'll say relationship, or his battle with substance abuse with Molly and things like that. Zion is the same. Lean, you hear in every rapper talking about lean. In this brother's case, it was Molly's, or whoever knows, who knows what he was taking at the time. He was unalived. Even in this case with Rich Homie Quan, there's people that are saying that either he OD'd on the substance, whatever substance it was he was taking, or he took something that was laced. That was laced with something, you're not expecting. But, as I said, they ain't really no quality control for, these substances, unfortunately. What I'm gonna get into right now, I'm gonna get into another scripture, which is it's the battle. It's a scripture for combating all these things that our oppressor is trying to push in our face and trying to push in our community. Alright, we're gonna get this scripture real quick. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Alright, let me get it. Let me see if there's any alright, 5 and verse 8. It says, be sober and be vigilant. Alright? It says be sober, meaning, you can't be strung out on these different narcotics. Even alcohol. Alcohol can be a drug if you overuse it. Alcohol is a good thing. It's in the Bible. It says it's there to make man merry. It's there to, for you to have a good time, but it's not there for you to overdo it, to abuse it. It's most certainly not. You still are required to be vigilant. Okay, you can be having a good time, you can have a drink, but you can still be vigilant. When you take in these narcotics, like cannabis and all these different, like walk and whatever, it puts you in a real low state of mind where you functioning real low, where you're not really vigilant. You just kind of float off, whether it be even things like even hallucinogenics like acid or mushrooms, all these different things. It takes away your mind from being vigilant. It takes away your mind from being sober. It takes away your mind from really, when you get hooked on these things now, from seeing what's really going on, from seeing that this substance is harmful for your body. It's slowly unaliving itself. All these health conditions, it's no secret that these substances are bad for you and lead to your unaliving. But when you taking these things, or when that demon gets on you, when you addicted to it, you're no longer vigilant to those things. You no longer you just really ain't worried about, I don't care, it ain't gonna happen to me. I can handle it. My tolerance is just higher. Like Snoop Dogg, he made it damn near a career of being a weed addict. But he just plays it off like his tolerance is just higher. He can just handle it. It's fine. He don't really he operates as a functioning addict where you don't really see him. Okay, you see he's smoking the substance all the time, but he don't show the effects as much. He kind of able to play it off. And money is a big thing. Like it's a big thing where you can you can kind of dress yourself up a little bit. Whether it be the clothes you wear. I don't notice he's always wearing sunglasses or something, to hide his eyes, which probably look crazy, when he upped in substances. But that's what the oppressor is trying to get you to do. It's trying to get you to no longer be sober, to no longer be vigilant. And he's especially our whole community, but he's targeting our whole community, but he's especially targeting the young men. Because the young men are our warrior class. The young men are who, is supposed to fill up our ranks in our army. The oppressor, he will take all of our young men and put them in his army. But in terms of black people for themselves, or fight the ones that he can't control, he wants you destroyed, so you can't fight for the Lord's army. You can't fight for your people or to benefit your community. You can't do anything because you're in this low state, and your mind is just on yourself. It's just on, it isn't on how you can better your community or how you can put things in place to better your situation. Your mind is just set on when and where you can get your next fix. That's by design. He puts these things in place. He pumps these substances into our neighborhoods. He pumps and floods our media full of, showing us what type of lifestyle we can achieve when we on these substances, or if we deal in these substances. You know what I'm saying? It says right here, reading on, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Alright, that oppressor is a roaring lion, meaning he ready to unalive somebody. He ready to put us down. You know what I'm saying? He thrives when black people are unaliving each other, or we unaliving our children, or we unaliving ourselves. You know what I'm saying? He puts these things in place. Like, he will put up abortion clinics in our neighborhoods. He'll put, he pump these drugs and these guns. I don't know if y'all know, but black people don't really have factories like that where we can manufacture guns, or where we can manufacture these narcotics. They come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He pumps these things into our neighborhood, and it's well known, but he just floods now the media, which is another thing to keep us docile and not really thinking about what we doing, the life we live in. He floods that media, and media is damn near another drug we addicted to. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that would be a topic later on down the line, how addicted our people are to media and drama. And all these things is just distracting you from correcting your lifestyle. Alright? But yeah, that oppressor, what he wants is you to be unalived. He wants your children to grow up without a father, so now they fall into the trap. Maybe they take these substances to deal with the pain of growing up without a father, or knowing, that their father was unalived at such a young age because of these substances. You know what I'm saying? He puts all these things into place. Alright? With that, what time we on? We on 6:55. We almost up on the time. Let me see if there's any comments we need to do. Nah, we good. Alright, no sweat. So make sure you'll tune into, so that's real time revelation. So you know what I'm saying, I hope y'all know. I mean, most of the people that are on this live, I think they already know the substance abuse isn't a flex. But for anybody that's watching new, make sure, okay, you want to be Like I showed the video of Vic Mensa and that other brother that talked about that they've been substance addicts. They've been on these narcotics. It's our responsibility as a nation. We can't be selfish. We can't be selfish in not caring about who we influence, who we will hurt if we end up unalived by these substances, if we end up becoming violent and aggressive and unaliving our neighbor, our brother. We can't be selfish in not thinking or not caring about how the way we live impacts our nation. Every other nation, they're aware of this, and they put, when one of them is acting out, they got something in place. They got initiatives, they got whatever it is they need to help their community. But there's nobody and nothing that will help ours. Nothing except for the ISUPK and the commanding General YAHANNA. We are the solution to all black issues. But every individual, so-called black, Hispanic, and Azivanian, we also need to be in that mindset of not falling for this trap, not falling for what the oppressor wants you to do. Okay, we have to rise above that. We have to be aware of his traps and dodge all of them. All right, now with that, make sure you'll tune into, so on the YouTube and Facebook, make sure you'll tune into the Monday Law class. All right, that will be taught by either Officer of 50 Aria Allah or Officer 50 Mawasar. Make sure you'll tune in to find it on ISUPK United Kingdom. All right, and I will catch y'all next week for another, not next week. I keep saying next week because I'm used to doing a weekly class. I'll catch y'all on Thursday. All right, this Thursday, Real Time Revelations episode 4. I'm gonna go into so we did substance abuse this week. I'm gonna go into weed. I'm gonna zone in on weed. My topic for next week, for Thursday, Slovakia, is let me get it up. My topic for Thursday is weed. Weed is turning you into a woman. All right, this that cannabis is turning brothers into sisters. All right, I'm gonna get into that topic right there on Thursday. Make sure you'll tune in for that episode. All right, without further ado, I'm gonna say Shalom Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai Barakatah to all the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Alatam B'Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. All right, Shalom.
Let's get it. I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, do you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Pose everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.